My walk or MapMyRun versus Strava. The most asked question or sought after topic when it comes to people who constantly come back to my channel to watch different videos. I made a short that was trying to ask a question. The difference between MapMyWalk or MapMyRun is basically the same thing versus Strava, and I wanted to understand which of these two apps gives you kind of a better recording in terms of running. Surprisingly enough, might be surprising or not surprising, this happens to be one of my most viewed shorts, but also the most disliked shorts. I don't know exactly why it's being disliked, but obviously because you can't satisfy everyone. But then I just thought, you know what, it might be better to put a little bit of context to the video that I made, and also to kind of, in a way, explain a little bit what I use these two apps for, so that when you watch that short, which again, as I said, is like one of my most viewed shorts, you will be able to understand where I'm coming from with that, looking at these two different things. So I started using MapMyWalk around 2015. I discovered it from a conversation I had with my sister. I was looking for a running app. She uses Nike Running, and I just wanted something that will help me to track as I do my running. So I downloaded the app, but then I realized, because it's an Under Armour app, it's actually like an umbrella of different apps that you can find, but also they are linked to MapMyFitness or MyFitnessPal, which is an app that I was using as well at that time, and I specifically using it to track my calories. So they were all synced in such a way that I could be able to, if I'm running or if I'm walking, kind of in a way I know all the data that I want, or I don't have to really know all the data. It will be synced in such a way that MyFitnessPal will tell me, today you are out for 10 kilometers run, you've burned approximately 900 calories. And so when you're eating, you need to eat the daily dietary intake, and then add on top what I've done for the exercise. So that was why I was using this, and I've been using it since 2015. Around COVID time, I started to want to find something slightly different, because I wanted to find a community, people that I could do life together with. And so at that moment is when I decided, or I found Strava, and I started using Strava, as I say, for me as a community, because you can actually follow people can follow you. I have a couple of colleagues of mine that we follow each other. We go together for a run, and we can record each other's runs. We like each other's runs, and that actually can be a motivation. As I always say, your community matters when it comes to exercise and weight issues, and also just general lifestyle. And so when I started using these two apps, it got to a point just around COVID time that I thought I want to do a little bit of an experiment to see if I start these two apps at the same time and go for a run, will they give me the same result or tell me what I really want? Disclaimer, a little bit of a disclaimer, these apps don't give you the same information. So I've been looking up a little bit earlier on before now, and if you're looking at just in general, I'll do a little bit of like talking a little bit and looking through, because I want to be able to give you all the facts and figures. When you're looking at these two apps, they are used for different things. So when it comes to these, MapMyRun or MapMyWalk, it offers ability for you to be able to track activities like road running, trail running, walking, cycling, interval training. If you are on a treadmill, all those different things, you can actually be able to track that, of course, if you're using MapMyRun or MapMyWalk. Strava is limited, mostly just biking or running. Of course, you can as well do things like walking. You can as well do different types of challenges as well in terms of what you're doing. But of course, there's more versatility when it comes to the Under Armour compared to Strava. And so when I use these two different apps, I use them for different purposes. I use Strava specifically to help me to know how much I've run, and I use my MapMyWalk specifically to be able to help me to know approximately, and I'm saying approximately because it might not necessarily be 100%. It gives me an idea of how many calories have I burnt along the journey of my run. And so let me show you an example. This morning I've been out for a run. If you look at my MapMyWalk, I'm just going to show you this in a minute to show you my running this morning, to tell you how much I've run. It actually says I was away, so I want to show you that. It shows I was away this morning for a morning run. I've done 11.01 kilometers, and that's like in 1 hour and 6 minutes, right? And then if I go, so I started off the app the same time when I started off MapMyWalk. So basically when I'm starting off, it might be a few delay of seconds in between, but when I'm looking at this other app, the MapMyWalk, it tells me I've done 10.69 kilometers. 1 point, I stopped it a little bit later, 1.7, so it's basically a second difference in terms of the timing. So 1 hour and 7 minutes, and I had 1 hour and 6 minutes on the other one, which gave me 11 kilometers, and this is actually given me just under, so 10.69 or 10.7 kilometers. So there is definitely usually that lag. There is a few meters difference between these two apps. So this is something that if you really want to be able to really work through it, you might want to take maybe 2 different phones, start off the same time, which of course will need a little bit more than just one person, run parallel with each other, and then stop them off at the same time, which you'll be carrying out an experiment. And for sure that's not what I want to do at the moment, because at the moment the apps really serve me different purposes, and I'm okay with what they do in terms of the 2 different things. Just let me highlight a few advantages and disadvantages of each of those apps. As I said already, when it comes to Strava, I can track my walk, I can track my running. If I do cycling, you can as well track that. There is community, you can like people, you can do it together, you can like strangers, you don't really have to invite people, etc. There is also those challenges, so it gives me every monthly challenges. It also has started recently to actually give me like a track of my week, and I'm going to show you how that does happen. So it tells me, I'll try to see if I can be able, it gives me my weekly run. So let me see, right? It tells me per week what have I been able to do, if I can be able to move that closer. So it gives me a bit of an idea in terms of my week, how many kilometers have I run. It tells me a little bit of like if my week has been better than the week before, so I can be able to track that back, and that gives me an opportunity to be able to know what activities I've done, etc. And I love it that way. However, when it comes to MapMyWalk, or my MapMyRun, it does in a sense give me like challenges. As I said, I'm doing 1024 challenge, which means I need to run 1024 kilometers in 2024, and it's a challenge that I get from this MapMyWalk. And it's, of course, if you see how that challenge looks like here, so it tells me I've done 305 of those kilometers, and I need to go 1024. So I have like an overall overarching goal that I need to work on. I know I need to work on 1024, and it doesn't break it in between. It doesn't tell me like, oh, you've done 2. It tells me every single time, but I only get like a notification on email once I meet like given some milestones. So like the first one is usually the first kilometers, and then you'll get, I think, around 100, and then 200, and then 400, like that. So it gives you like opportunities to do like big logging of your miles, logging of your kilometers before you are able to get any more information from that. One other thing that I mentioned, of course, I love about this MapMyWalk is that it actually gives me the opportunity to see the calories that I've actually burned. Of course, I feel like it does overestimate, because obviously it just kind of figures out from maybe the values that I put in there. Obviously, I need to constantly update that. That's something that I don't do. And because I don't do that often, it means that at the end of the day, that 900 calories from this morning run might be a little bit of overestimated. That is not something that I get with my Strava, because Strava, it just tells me I've run so and so kilometers, and then that's it basically. And then it tells me how many kilometers, what was the pace that I did the running, so I can track and see if my pace was quicker, if my pace was lower. And that's the reason why I try to use these two apps simultaneously. One is purely for tracking my calories, but also gives me that bigger goal, and the other one is tracking my day-to-day run. And then the other thing that I love about MapMyWalk is that it gives me that opportunity, as I say, it's in itself like kind of synced up to my FitnessPal, and because it's synced up to my FitnessPal, I don't even need to do anything. So it goes directly and tells my FitnessPal I've actually burned 918 calories. And when I do that, I know it tells me in a day I need to eat 2,000 plus, I don't know, I can see the value, 2,568 calories. So I don't have to constantly do the going up and down, up and down. I can still also be able to get the steps from Strava, link it back into other apps as well, but that's not something that I've done, but it might be something worthwhile if you really wanted to do it as well. So just to show you, like when I'm talking about these two different apps, so when you're watching these shots, to give you a bit of a context, because I used to these two different things for different purposes, but also, as I mentioned,